Alrighty, Vietnam, here we go. Got my quick test. Lines haven't been too bad, even though it's Easter. And now it's to security, and then to Doha, and then on to Hanoi. I cannot wait to get back on the road. It feels so good, and always just so invigorating. Yes. Next 2 weeks will be updates from Vietnam, posting from the road and all that good stuff as I go. So stay tuned. Alrighty, I'm in Vietnam, made it. It was smooth. So it only opened up under a month ago, and you can really see that there's so little traffic here in the international hub. A lot of the airlines were still all, like the local airlines were still sitting kind of, not mothballed, but covered up out on the tarmac. Not many flights coming through, that's for sure. So super curious what that means for the tourist infrastructure. I think it should be good, a lot like when I was in Vietnam back in December, or Thailand. But feels good to be back. Well, I made it safe and sound, but the weather is a little bit rough, and I think a lot of pollution today. So I'll definitely be aiming to get up into the countryside sooner rather than later. Iconic bridge here. Fun to be back, fun to see it. So, crossing into downtown now. Alrighty, it feels good to be back in the chaos that is Hanoi. These intersections are fantastic. Had a little bit of a nap, now it's time to go get some food. So the old backpacker hostel that I used to stay in is right down there. It looks like it's still open, although it's so mostly closed that you don't really have much. And then, yeah, the markets are alive. Everybody's out. All the great seafood, butchers, vibrancy. So just looking for what the right meal is, what to eat. Oh, and it rained, which took the pollution out of the air, which is good. So now we're in really good shape. Oh, it's amazing. But normally this section of the old town would have a lot of Westerners, and I really have only seen maybe one or two. And again, everything reopened only less than a month ago. So it makes sense that we're kind of slowly trickling in, and there's just not that many people, which is actually what I hoped for. And seems to be confirmed just in the first little bit. And not too much closed. Everything's vibrant and really alive. So, so good. Alrighty, the first stop is a seafood noodle place that I found last time that I really like, that I just walked by. They're still open, they're still busy, so have to kick off there, right? It's been about 2.5 years and it looks as good as it was at the time. Hasn't changed. So actually that hostel, which is a hostel that we'd stayed at once or twice in previous trips, is actually just straight up closed. I went in and looked, and even though they had the door open, they must be getting ready to reopen it or do something like that. But that was one of the main backpacker hostels that were down here in this part of town. So, interesting to see. I mean, it makes sense, right? But definitely very, very interesting to see. And if they're gonna reopen or what it is. So, next up. I do not fit on these stools at all, but I haven't broken them yet. 2 for 2, that's good. Because I've been flying, I decided to try the snails. So we got some snails, and then that will do it for today, and then I'll be okay. And go rest. Oh, that was good. But I am crying. A little bit scared of some of those old ladies sometimes that run those stands, and they tell you exactly how to make the dish properly. Sometimes it includes a lot of chili, and that was a lot of chili. But a lot of greens and everything else, so it was good. She showed me the right way to prep it, and it was very, very tasty and very flavorful, so really nice. Alrighty, so the jet lag is not too terrible, but was up for a few hours in the middle of the night. Now headed out about 1 o'clock for first bite of food and some wandering and trying to figure out what I do. There's some thunderstorms coming in, so that makes the northwest, which I was going to go up to, and which really then you're only spending time on motorbike by not ideal. So have to see if I roll the dice or what I end up doing. But first found a little buffet. Alrighty, so now that I've eaten, wandering down to the lake in the middle, heading out of the old district down to the south, where it's a bit less gritty, but for proper wonder, and just enjoying the view. Unfortunately, there's a lot of smog, and I think it's partially pollution, partially humidity and a front blowing in. But the lake down in central Hanoi is quite pretty, minus the smog. Such nice light right now. Everybody out relaxing. Clear skies as well. Oh, the traffic here is always so entertaining. It's getting across a little bit challenging sometimes. Sometimes you just walk. Sometimes there's a light that you can wait for. Right now. So here we go. It's all good now. No problems. Mostly. Should be okay. Haha, survived. Lived to cross the street another day. It's the old saying, why did the chicken cross the street? Haha. Haha. Chicken ear. And time for another edible pit stop. And of course, doing it right this time. It's inundated by city and wear, but you get some great architecture in here, like these old buildings. Wild mixture of history. How cool is that? It is a bamboo ladder shop for making and selling ladders. Neat. I picked a rather noisy place to chill again. A guy is making a little offering on the street there. I think that's what's going on. Oh, that's pretty chill. Trying to figure out where to go. I just am super indecisive at the moment with the weather coming in and everything else, and how bold I'm in the mood to be. So I may retrace old steps and head down to Ninh Bihn, where Kong was filmed. It's fairly quiet at the moment. Not too much going on. A little chaotic occasionally. Of course, the real nightlife is still going very, very strong. Especially down the bar street. Alrighty, so I'm now about to catch a small van for 2.5 hours to Ninh Bihn, which is famous for its spires and mountains. Did it a couple years ago, really liked it, and decided with the weather and everything else as it is, I'm gonna pop down there and revisit it and see if I can get some different photos. It was a little bit earlier in the year, so hopefully it's a bit greener, and yeah, time to check that out. Alrighty, made it to Ninh Bihn, now just waiting for the connection out to Tam Kok, which is the little area where I'll be staying. With some of these drivers, you just kind of have to take a nap and just kind of throw your hands up in the air and say, alrighty, you just trust them, because this guy was up on the side, not even passing lane, up on the shoulder, left, right, we're zooming along, and with a little minivan. One of those definitely, that car is still in good shape, he's still alive, so you just kind of lay back and take a nap and call it even. Alrighty, I made it to Tam Kok. Lovely some place here for $6 a night. And there's the big karst formations, which are what make this area so famous. Oh, it is so quiet here. You can definitely feel that the tourism dollars are missing. It's predominantly a tourism town. But oh, what a beautiful spot. I cannot wait to get out there into them. And this is what I'm here for. A bit better view here, yeah. Time to get some food and some caffeine. Ran into a traffic jam. Whoa. And some grumpy boys. Straight out of the action. Woof. Well, I'd hoped that there would be rice in the fields, and sure enough, we got rice. I need to figure out how to photograph things. Putting up these flags for some sort of event, which is cool. I mean, now we're talking. This is what the trip was all about. Whew. Amazing geography. Geology. A little bit of both. So there's the overlook right up there. 500 steps to get up there. Need a bike to get over there. Probably should have done that given that there's not really clouds today. But don't think I can get home, grab a bike, and then get over there in time. So leaves me here contemplating light and if I set up a shot or what I end up doing. Oh, indecision. So instead I came back to town and I'm just grabbing some abstract shots of all the rowboats. Oh, and enjoying it cooling off a little bit. All right, this is a bit better. Worth my walk. Definitely worth my walk. Oh. Hello, Vietnam. Oh, thank you. Well, that sure is nice, isn't it? Not sure what they're out there harvesting, if it's snails or frogs. The lady earlier had some birds, actually. I don't know how she grabbed those. Quite cool. How cool is this? These are little butterflies. That's just magical, right? Hi, guys. Or like dragonflies? I think there may be dragonflies, actually. But the color is more like... Oh, I'm such a happy camper right now. Look at that. Alrighty, well, my shiny head is protected from the sun, which is good, even though I look good. I feel a little ridiculous, but landlady has kitted me out, made sure I'm well dressed for a couple hours on the water, so now it's time to go hit the water. Alrighty, a big group arrived right as I did, so there's a bit of chaos right now, and a little bit more tranquil on this side. Off we go. Now you can see the local style is actually to row with your feet. So seated, which is pretty amazing. Quite cool. Alrighty, now we're talking. Something else, isn't it? Alright, we passed through the first cave. This is taking some time lapse. Gal out there working in the field. Bird song everywhere. Boy, each of these little valleys, you come in through a cave. Straight out of a novel or a movie. Literally and figuratively, I suppose. Then you cross through another cave. You go right through here into the next little nook. Wow. Alrighty, in we go. incredible. This whole area is threaded with these little caves. Starting to get a little bit of wind and some texture, which means that storm that I've been worried about may be blowing in now. Sorry about the wind. Just cruising along here. Alrighty, everybody's gathering for the Thai Temple Parade. The call to arms. First parade. Second parade coming on through. Great stuff. Alrighty, we've been able to come in. Everybody's kind of dropped everything off. Now they're aggregating kind of in the corners, hiding in the sun. I guess ceremony kicks off here shortly. So I think they're trying to get this into the temple kind of thing, like fighting it, wrestling the dragon. It was in the temple with the other two, but escaped. Now they're herding it back in. Trying anyway. Rather hazardous. Well, we got some bovine lawnmowers heading out there. Wait for them to wander down there, and some cool trees back in the background. Let's see if I can get a shot out of it. It's back in the area where I was yesterday. Well, I was waiting to see if it would pop, but it looks like it tried, but there's too much smoke and whatnot in the air. So, I don't know, in 5-10 minutes, maybe I'll get surprised. But it does look like, now I see some rays on the screen here. I don't know, maybe we'll get something. Surprise me, bring it on, nature. Well, it didn't pop, but it sure was nice just sitting there relaxing and enjoying. Now I've got a couple kilometers back into the heart of town and some food and relaxing, I think. Maybe figure out where I go next. Uh-oh. Alrighty, so I picked up a bike, wanted to get outside of town a little bit, and I stopped here. Not too many restaurants or things like that, so I think I'm getting a banh mi with hot dogs or something of the sort. Let's see what shows the right spot. Nice view down into town. Cooled off a little bit. Alrighty, lunch is hot dog banh mi, I think, of some sort. Looks tasty. Alrighty, I have had my food and my coconut, so I'm hydrated, I'm fed. Now I'm out just wandering a little bit. Let's see what I find, if I get any shots, or if I just enjoy the landscape and country. Alright, just came down that path, backed up by Google Maps. Oh, isn't this fun? My little putt-putt. Winding through. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a breeze, so let's see. Probably not going to be ideal for getting a photo of that tree, but I do kind of like the foreground of it. Are we sure? Yeah, why not? Seems good to me. I am currently playing a game called Don't Fall in the Water. And is this a dead end? But oh my god, it's cool. So worth it. Alrighty, that ended up being a dead end, or rather a weird dead end, but I did make it down and back again, and it was fantastic. Now I backtracked. I have a sense that there's some rain coming, so I'm going to play it safe and just eat instead of continue. Alrighty, now heading on back to Hanoi after what was a really nice kind of stay here. This is one of the limousine taxis, as they call them, which are nice little commuter buses. Not that much more than the normal bus. Well, I was reading the forecast and saw a storm was coming, so I decided to use it as a commute day. And I think that was the right decision. Alrighty, $15 a night in The old town Hanoi quarter. That's all right. A lot cleaner than the last one I had when I got here in Hanoi. But hard to beat last night's, which was fantastic. Nice view. And my street, I just love these little side streets. Thoroughfares of their own right, but moped-sized only. Alrighty, now we're back cooking with real food after what was nice landscapes, but not the best food down south. Oh, just the chaos and color of the markets. Amazing. Next up, get some pork and some rice. And then choose. And this one, please. That's perfect. Is this not the cutest, most adorable thing? Oh. Of course, it's time to eat again. It's just... I do not fit, but it's good. Stove looks really good here. Alrighty, so it is raining again, which is one of the kind of challenges that I've been coming up against. Trying to figure out what to do, where to go. Not exactly beach weather, or high mountain weather. So I'm definitely a little bit at a loss fighting the weather. But no, just out for a walk. It is much cooler today, which is kind of nice. And might go catch a movie. Just had one of the better bowls of pho that I've had so far for $3. So yeah, kind of just wander in the rain a little bit. It's still a light rain, so let's see if it picks up, gets worse or not. So in the past, this bridge wasn't that interesting to me, but with the rain, there's people crossing with umbrellas. So if I can time it right, get this reflection and somebody with an umbrella on it, it could be quite nice, quite charming. A little bit of mist kind of fading off into the background as well, which wipes out some of the construction in the bigger buildings, or at least softens them. Those cranes are definitely not going away, sadly. But now we need some umbrellas. With the main boulevard closed on the weekend, you get everybody who comes down and they record their like dance routines. Quite fun. And as a good alternative to the dance routines, you can rent one of these kiddie car toys and drive around in the street. That's awesome. All right, here they go. Let's see what they got. Maybe. I love when they decorate electrical boxes like this. I imagine it's probably graffiti, but it is so beautiful. So there's this charming little square. Very touristy, but... And then I found a church. Big old church. A bunch of you asked if I'd come down to the train street. This is it. Very cozy, very touristy. But yeah, just wandering through. So I'm just wandering around eating, and I figured I would try snails again, which these look really good. Innocent place. So I've got this, which I think is ginger. To be honest, I have no idea, but she told me to put a little bit in. So we'll put a little bit of that in. And a little bit of this chili, which looks really good, but really fiery. And some greens, so here we go. Alrighty, so I just booked my last minute ticket down to Da Nang, and figured that with the weather being like it is and everything else, logistics, and also just did some Instagram scouting on what the rice paddies and whatnot look like up north, that it made more sense to redirect myself and head south to just take it easy, sit on the beach, hopefully, and maybe do some of the ancient city and whatnot down there. And I've never been down there, so it's still covering new territory, which is good. So let's see how that is tomorrow. All right, I've been walking by these for the last couple days, and so I finally had to give in and try it. We got some squid, crab. Oh, it smells so good, so fresh. That was so fresh and so good. I would normally never eat seafood at a little street stall like this, but you can tell it's really fresh. And it was perfectly cooked. It's a great little setup. It's super fresh. Really lovely. Oh, that was good. Alrighty, it is time to catch my domestic flight to Da Nang. It was very rainy up here this morning. Has gotten a little bit sunnier now, which is good, but also a bit cold. No, I see monsoons out the window. So now just looking forward to hopefully what will be clear skies, sun, and some beach time. I'm curious what to expect out of Da Nang. So yeah, should be interesting. Alrighty, I made it to Da Nang. Quite a good sized city. Heading out to the beach area, which is a bit separate from the town. It's nice and warm. Ooh, that rush hour traffic is something else. Now, heading up over the bridge. Much bigger mountain than I thought out there. Quite cool. Ooh, these places are all just reopening. So this one's 15 bucks a night, which it does have a sea view, kind of, or me view, which is going here quickly, I think. Oop, dirty window. Oh, so much for that. Yeah, not much photography recently, landscapes, because, well, I'm just not doing that much shooting, more just exploring. But who knows? Maybe there's some potential here. I'm gonna head down there and check that out. Alrighty, made it to the beach. Interesting. A lot of people down here. A lot of Vietnamese. These famous round boats. They use. Wow, there's a lot of people. Huh. Interesting. So, alrighty, cool. I do like the clouds up on the mountain. Well, that is so many people. Good God. Alright, let's see. Skies in the air are definitely a lot clearer. Well, whew, there's a lot of big hotels along here. And it wouldn't be Vietnam without a motorbike on the on the beach. Oh, it's gonna be hard to like this place. I'm really gonna have to work at it. It reminds me so much of like a Cancun type of, yeah, it's kind of everything I dislike actually. Already I ordered shrimp and pork, and that's sad, but it's different, so let's have fun with it. Already decided to carry on. It is so amazing what you have in the tanks here. So yeah, dive in and see how these crabs compare to Hanoi's crabs. And following them up with some clams. Let's see how they are. So that had the freshness, but it lacked the flavor. So Hanoi won. The clams just tasted like peanuts, which were good. But yeah, nothing crazy good. So this seems to be how the entire city operates, is there's just these tons of buses that just funnel people around these big groups, dump them off, pick them up. I guess they're organized tours. This is why I love you guys. So a bunch of you have already recommended a place, maybe 30 minutes down the coast, right outside Hoi'An, that should be much, much better. So I'm actually gonna bail on the second night of this hotel, I think, which is 15 bucks, and then move down there tomorrow after I spend a little bit of the day checking out the town, give it a little bit more of a chance up here. And it looks so much better down there. And more of what I was looking for. So let's see how that goes, but thank you all so much for the recommendations. You rock. Alrighty, so the weather's changed a little bit, but heading on down to the other location and away from all these high rises and everything else, so that'll be good, I hope. More rice paddies, things like that to photograph as well. Beaches are much quieter today, but of course the weather and the weekend have passed, so I suppose that contributes heavily. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what this new area looks like. Okay, now we are talking. This is so much better. Beach is just right down here at the end of the way. So cozy. No big high rises, random terrible construction. A lot of little places to eat. I can hear the sea. And I think it means we'll even get some photography done, which is also super exciting. You won't just have to watch me eat and talk with a mask on. All right, this is beautiful for $12.50 a night. This little place. Oh. I'm gonna go check out the beach, see how things look. Oh, isn't that cozy? This is so much better. I'm already such a happy camper. So this is only about 200 meters away, not even, from the little place. Quite windy today, but oh my God, so much better. So now it's time to grab some lunch and explore a little bit. Alrighty, we got rice chicken. I'm not sure what that is. It looks really, really good. Some little soup. Cozy little place. I'll dig in. Oh my God, so this is like a fire chutney that is so good, super sweet, and then it hits you with this like brutal fire flavor. But it's very, very good. These are out of my spice league, but oh, aren't they beautiful? I picked up a supervisor. Yeah, I don't pet kitties when I'm traveling, but you are so cute. Very, very cute. Hi. Yeah. More rain is blowing in, so it's super windy, which I apologize. There's some buffalo out here in these rice fields, which are much closer to ready to harvest. So just cruising around here. Oh, this is beautiful. So they're out here harvesting the rice and have some buffalo company. A rice harvester, or at least I don't know what the name for that is. Flattener, cutter, trimmer. Yeah, so different. Well, I've got to say this came out of left field, but it's a dead end. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. Ooh, I think we got some weather blowing in. Yikes. Alrighty, so this place has been busy both times that I've driven by, and it looks like it snails, so it looks really, really good. I'm gonna go here. Oh, that looks really, really good. It's got some garlic in there, like a rice porridge. It smells amazing. Oh, we got some beautiful light here. What a spot. Alrighty. Decided to try the tamarind crab. Had some shrimp, cashew chicken. Sea out there. Oh, really, really like this place a lot more. Well, the good news is the wind stopped. Even though the seas are still very moody. But it makes for a nice walk, and it is very relaxing. Got a light drizzle. But it's still very warm. And I got an umbrella. So it's a good spot to read and relax. Alrighty, I came down into the historic district of Hoi'An. It has all these boats. Kind of cool. Starting to wander around a little bit. Old Town is in here somewhere. Alrighty, more boats. And then this is the historic town of Hoi'An in there. All right, seeing what I can do here. This is a little bit of a funny one because it's actually a garbage boat, but it's moving around a lot, so it's getting a lot of blur on a 30-second exposure with that in the background. No idea if it'll turn out, but let's see. Look at the light out here. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, the light on the rice. It's amazing. That's beautiful. Got some supervisors here. Great wandering path. Amazing light. Oh, these fishing ships are so different than you would normally find. One of the guys I was talking to yesterday was saying he thought it was because of the currents being so difficult here, which maybe that's the case. Would make a lot of sense. This is super cool. You got a winch system here, just hooked up to what I assume is those nets out there. And then these are all dredgers. So he's heading out to feed the fish, I think. We'll have fish feed. All these big nets. I'm just trying to think how to actually get a shot. It seems like something I would like to photograph at. Yeah. About the possibility to go out to the island. And he said, it's his net. So he's gonna take me out and show me the net. It's amazing. Oh, and the weather just is beautiful right now. So this is the way you release it, and then the net goes in. Oh, and the sticks go down. So you put it down, and then once it's down, let it sink. So that's Lucky, a super cute puppy who is our tour guide. So we head back. Oh, that was so cool. And just heading back. So my plan was to get back here in time to do some properly set up long exposures, but ended up chatting to the guys a little bit longer and just got here. So let's see if I can get anything. Just crossing the street. Oh, that's bliss. Alrighty, so some assembly required. I cut this omelet thingy in half, wrap it in the rice paper, add some of this, and then dip it in here. And it's tasty. Next one is pork, similar to the clams that I had the other day. So, looks good. We'll dive in. Looks very good. The sun is out. I'm gonna sit here, read, relax for a couple hours, miss the hottest part of the day, then pop in, and I scouted some more stuff on Google Maps to try and photograph this afternoon in the afternoon light. So, sadly, this is my final day down here. Then I have half a day overnight in Hanoi, and then I'm homeward bound. So, back to work and life. Okay, so this clam soup was so good. Had to come back for a second time. And really is really good. Alrighty, in my Google Maps scouting, I thought there were going to be more of those big nets up here. It looks like they're not, that the maps are out of date here. There's a lot of trash in this harbor, but a cool working harbor. I'm guessing these must be squid boats with the light on there. So great little market, but everything has a height cap. I just triggered a whole bunch of laughter because I just walked a bunch of spider webs because I'm definitely the tallest person that's been here in a while. So they are drying the rice, and then I found the nets, but they're just not something that I can photograph. I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so I actually have to thread back quite a ways before I lose light, just from a safety standpoint. But I do love that only in Asia could you wander around back like this and not have any issues or anything like that, especially in some fairly intense areas. So my plan for sunset with the nets I don't think will happen. But wow, ended up down here at this big rice paddy, which is amazing, just wandering through. This little place had a bunch of people, so I decided to stop, take a quick bite to eat. Chicken with egg, hamburger, hot dog. So it's a little quail's egg, I think, and then these are really cool. A bit different than the other noodles I've been having. Quite a cool random tower here out in the middle of things. Little tourist spot now. Coffee shop of some sort. I have any clue where I am right now. Oh, there is a bridge here. Amazing! It's just a motorcycle bridge. Oh, that is amazing. Ooh, that was a little stress I didn't need. Ended up going back through Hoi'An directly at rush hour, driving in the crazy traffic, which was something I'd hoped to avoid, but I did okay and survived. Well, it's almost weekend. A lot more people on the beach here. Still not too bad. But I did give up on my sunset. Who knows, maybe a mistake. Alrighty, time to check out here, sadly, and then I will head back up to Hanoi by flight via Da Nang. Have a overnight there, a little bit more of Hanoi street food and relaxing, and then catch a evening flight tomorrow, which will take me back to Copenhagen. Oh, the adventure is already coming to a close. Oh, it is fun to be tall. This is my ass all the way to the back. As long as I don't sneeze, it won't hurt. Alright, so trying some bun down. This place was packed. So even though this doesn't look that appetizing, I will give it a go, see what it is. Alright, well that was super boring. Tasted okay, I suppose. But yeah, it was fried tofu, I think. And some sort of kind of sausage. And a lot of noodles. Bun dao. I think I'll pass on that one in the future. Opt for something else more flavorful. Alrighty, let's talk motorcycle traffic. Oh, there we go. That's not too bad. A little bit of a lull. It picks back up here. And the way it threads together is always amazing. Beautiful chaos. And this is a small intersection. But it works. Just getting the last dishes in. Can't beat that. Yummy. So some of you may have noticed that compared to previous trips, I really haven't posted many people photos and don't seem to be photographing markets, spaces like this that much. And one of the reasons for that is just with the overall trend towards privacy in Europe, and then kind of how that's extending over into best practices globally, and also into Asia, Africa, all these other spaces. It just means that unless I have a clear opportunity to go and get consent and get a thumbs up, have that conversation, not really doing it as much. And I think, you know, general street photography in general that way is less and less kind of prevalent and viable moving forward. And so definitely don't want to be walking through the streets and just kind of like rudely photographing stands and stalls and stuff like that. I think that's now fairly clearly bad behavior. So it does change a lot of the process and the flow in getting those photos. And I'm not primarily a street photographer to begin with, or portrait photographer. So going through and I find it very kind of exhausting and kind of taxing to constantly have those conversations and constantly get rejected and constantly, you know, kind of be in this gray area where they partially understand but don't fully have understanding of the usage of the photos, where they might go, all those different things. So still some, especially when I can kind of have a conversation and ask, or if I see something really good, but I get, you know, turned down probably 30% of the time when I do ask anyway. So yeah, that's why it's much more kind of food and stuff like that versus kind of urban and street here in Hanoi. But of course that is different than, let's say, something like the street, and can kind of show you a mixture, right? Because there's no central kind of focus to it, and it is very much just kind of a general overview. But then you're talking about kind of like a general video. You're not necessarily talking about a photo that's really kind of featuring and focusing on one specific vendor or kind of one specific spot or that side of it. And it's a subtle difference, but also in the usage. I mean, most of the stuff I just posted anyway, and I'm not looking to sell it or license it or anything, but if that does come up or I want to submit it, it's just so much more complex to do it ethically, and kind of the definition of what is ethical and what is kind of gray area is also changing so rapidly. So that's why you get fewer and fewer of these, or specific photos. Like, I'd love to photograph that, right? I mean, a lot of this stuff is fantastic that way for colors and things, but yeah, that's why. Alrighty, continuing to close out here. That is the buncha train. Oh, that looks so good. Wow, this is the drop-off for international departures here. Shows you there's still not a ton of traffic going on. I guess it's also, no, it's 5 p.m. on Friday. There should be a lot more. Yeah, case in point, there just are not many flights yet. That's pretty crazy. That's all the flights going out tonight from the international terminal here in Hanoi. Whew. Long way to go.